Om. So, dream is a Sandhyam Sthanam. Sandhyam Sthanam means a junction between Ihaloka and the other Loka. Not only dream is a junction for this world and other world, not only in terms of the world means worldly objects, but even the Atma standpoint too, it is a sandhi between them. If you look at the world that is seen in the dream, the objects of dream represent two worlds, this world and the other world. So they give you some idea of this world and that there is going to be another world. Because dream objects, when compared to waking, are of two types. Some of them are similar to waking, some of them are dissimilar to waking. A few experiences you have in dream which were never experienced in dream. If they were experienced in dream, if they were experienced in waking, you could have compared easily. But in dream you have some unfamiliar experiences too, totally strange experiences, which are unlike the waking experiences. This a dissimilar experience. Can you hear me? Okay. So the totally a new experiences of dream proves that dream is representing certain other world. Different people explain differently. This is our Vedantic way. For the purpose of Vedanta we are discussing, but for other people, just for casual understanding, to show the contrast. The mystic experiences, in the mystic, the mystics, what do they say? The yogic people, if you have certain strange experiences, that shows your mind is able to go and see some experiences. This is one explanation. Another, as I told you, that in dream you hear some accident or something. After you wake up, you find that the event is happened already. So the event that is going to happen, your dream can see. So this is one explanation. Another is, some people say, if you have some strange, unusual experiences of waking, those experiences can be explained as coming from your previous janma, purva janma samskaras. So the impressions of the memories of this janma can be seen in dream, but some experiences are totally unlike this janma's experiences, shows that they are coming from previous janma. These are all experiences only when you can compare the dream experiences with waking. That is possible only when you come back to waking. After coming back to waking, you compare the waking experiences. Automatically comparison happens. You don't have to do that. Mind unconsciously compares. So after coming into, when you are in dream, did you say that these are the experiences I have similar with waking, but these are totally new experiences? While dreaming, do you have these two distinctions? All the experiences are experiences. You didn't have any difference there. Only after coming back to waking, you compare with the waking experiences, and then say some of them are similar to waking, some of them are totally strange. I don't know. So here again, after coming into waking, you compare with the waking state. Second thing is that you have an explanation that waking memories are carried into waking and imagined there. Waking memories are carried and replayed. You are replaying them, repeating them. If not exactly in the same way, with a little modifications. Some of the experiences you combine, recombine in various proportions and start projecting there. So this is an explanation of a waker again. With a waker's prejudice, you say that there is a similarity with the waking experiences, therefore you have carried the waking memories, and therefore you have projected them. All this is after coming into waking only. Coming into waking, it is something like the event has already happened. After happening as a later thought, you start giving explanation. It was because of him, it was because of this, it happened. Earlier you never thought of anything. Later you start giving explanation. So sometimes it happens in our life. After the event happened, now we start imagining all the explanations. So it is a waker's prejudice that is imagining all kinds of explanations. And second thing is, these explanations are not uniform. Different people give different explanations according to their standpoint. Medical science, psychology, and then what you call the mystic experiences of yogic and all. So different people give different experiences, and none of them are sure which of them has really happened. None of them are sure. So you give some explanation and it doesn't convince everybody. It doesn't convince everybody. Some people say, that might be true. Some people say, no, it is not true. But what do you say? Just you give an explanation is not to convince anybody. It convinces you and you just to say. It doesn't convincingly explain things. But here, our purpose is not that. So, Sandhyam, the junction, dream is a junction. Here, though he told that you can see this world and the other world. In a Vedantic way, if you take it, leave the world, leave the lokas. If you take Vedantic way, dream is a junction in the sense that it is common to many. It is common to waking as well as a common to dream. It is a common to this and the other world also. Other world also takes place in the same consciousness. This world also takes place in the same consciousness. So the Sakshi is the same, who illumines this world and illumines the next world. So here our purpose is to discover the Atma which is same, not the similarity of the worlds. We are not, our topic is not the world, because Janaka asked the question, which is the Atma, which illumines us in the absence of the world. In the absence of this world, what is the Atma that illumines? World means the lights of this world. The sun, moon, fire and speech and many other world, even lightning and all. In the absence of the external world, external light, what is the light? In whose light a person lives and carries experiences, lives and experiences. Indirectly he means, does he live independent of these lights? Is there a light? Is there a life independent of this external world? Is this not the implication? So if we have a light to illumine our life and experiences independent of the external light, I repeat, if independent of the external lights, if we have a life and experiences that shows that you are independent of the external light. So he is indirectly asking, do I exist independent of the external world? Independent of the external lights. Independent of external light, is there a light? Independent of the external world, is there a life? That is the real question. The real question, Vedantic question is there a life independent of the external world? If I am not watching, If I am not experiencing the external world, do I exist? Or my life is limited to this world alone? Is my life limited to this world alone? Or in the absence of this world, I continue to exist? Means I continue to have experiences, I continue to have life. Okay, when I live, if I continue to live, if I continue to experience, independent of this external world and external lights, then in what light do I live? What light do I live? So this is the main question. He is interested in discovering the Atma's true nature, which can survive the absence of or leaving out of all these external world and light. That is the main question. Therefore, Kim Jyotirevayam Purushaha. In what light does this person live and experience? Means, does he live? Is there a light? Is there a light? Is there a life apart from the external world, apart from the external light? Is there a life? Is there a light? That is the main question. Yes, it is there. There is a life. Even when the external world is not there, external lights are not there, there is a light and there is a life. What is it? That's what is the main question. He shows that you watch the dream. Dream shows that even after leaving off this world, you continue. Your life continues and illumination continues. Your life continues, and in what illumination you live the life, that also continues. Your illumination. What is that illumination that you can see? So dream is a good experience to show, to experience oneself independent of the external world, waking world and waking light. Independent of the waking world and waking light, waking lights, I exist. This one has to watch. One has to watch and to be able to distinguish it from the external world and external life. Otherwise, we are generally stuck with the external life, waking life. We think all our life is limited to waking world alone. All our illumination is external lights alone. External lights, external world. Our life is limited to external waking life. If waking world, waking body, waking things are not there, I don't exist. This is what person thinks. When I don't have the body, when I am not connected with the external world, I don't exist. I exist only in the waking world. This is common man's thinking. I exist only in the world. I exist only with the body. In the absence of the body, I don't exist. That's why what is death? If the body is not functioning, if the body is not functioning, he is dead. That's why we connect the person's existence through the body only. Either another person or oneself. When we treat the other person through body only, we take the person as a body alone. If the body is responding, he is alive. If the body is not responding, he is no more. He is no more. That means we limit the other person to body only. Now, so the same thing we apply to ourselves. We limit ourselves to this body. If my body is responding, my eyes are seeing, ears are hearing, my touch is touching, if I feel hungry, if I feel pain and comfort and discomfort, if I am breathing, if I am looking at the world, then I am alive, and this is my life and this is my existence. I have no existence if that's why people say, there was one lady, she needed to undergo some operation. Her family members, she was living with her daughter. Her son-in-law himself is a doctor. They suggested you have to undergo some operation. For that you have to take some anesthesia. She told, no, I don't want to take anesthesia. Because if I take anesthesia, I may not come back. I may not come back, I may die. So she doesn't want. I told, every day you are sleeping is like anesthesia. Isn't like anesthesia? Are you afraid of sleeping? You sleep, you come back. Similarly, you come back. No, whatever you tell Swamiji, I don't want anesthesia. Because if I take anesthesia, I may go and I may not come back. See how this means people associate their living, their life, their experience, their existence to this body. If I am functioning through this body, if I am responding through this body, if my experiences are through the body, then I am alive. My experiences are experiences, my life is life. It is like child's behavior of watching the outside through window. Watching the outside world through window. When the window is open, you see the world outside, people are coming and going, traffic and all. If window is closed, as if you feel that your eyes are closed, you lost your eyes. You think as if you have lost your eyes. Have you lost your eyes? Because continuously seeing through window again and again and again and again number of time, you start feeling window is a part of your body. You feel as if window is a part of your body. If window is closed, you feel a part of the body is not functioning. A part of you is not functioning. It is because of the continuous association. So you have to discover you are independent of this. Therefore the association is wrong. You have to discover you are independent of it. All Vedanta is only this. You are independent of window. Even if window closes, nothing happens. You have been living in an apartment, in a room. So you have been living from decades together. Once you are shifted to another place, you feel uncomfortable, like a fish out of water. You feel like going back to your old room. When you go back to the room, you feel comfortable. I have come back to my body. Otherwise, I left my body, you feel. This is association. Similarly here, we are associated with the body, associated with the sense organs, and this alone, me, I define myself. I identify, I define myself as this. Here Janaka is asking, am I this alone or can I exist independent of the body, beyond the function of the body, beyond the experiences brought by the body, beyond the experiences brought by the body, beyond the life based upon the body? Do I have a life other than the life which is based upon the body? Is my life independent of the body? This is what I have to discover. He says, dream helps you. Watching the dream helps you, because the dream is a very good experience. Watch what you are, what you have been associating with yourself is not really you. That's only a wrong association. You can live, you can experience, you can have a life. In fact, you have a broader life, better life, higher life, independent of the body, independent of the waking world and waking state. Independent of waking state, you have a much broader life, much real life, more comfortable life, more happier life, more pleasant life, independent of the waking and waking body and the waking world. Waking body and waking world is a very small part of it. In fact, it limits you. Those who have had little out-of-body experiences, a few people have, they say that life is much better than this. This is like a house arrest. We living in the body is like arresting ourselves, restricting ourselves to a few things. We are restricting ourselves to few things, but in fact, you are a much broader, much deeper, much higher, much better than what you live, what you experience through this body. Body is a very small part of you. This is what needs to be convinced. Convinced means what? It's not to be believed, it has to be, you have to be convinced. Conviction comes based upon facts. Conviction also you may keep on repeating 10 times, then you start believing. Belief is only accepting something without knowing it. Without knowing it, without knowing the fact, you just accept something, some idea, that is called belief. Here you have to watch and discover how you are independent of the body. It should be a fact for you. For that you watch your dream. First step is, dream is very much your experience as much as your waking is. Dream is your experience. You are very much present in dream in as much as you are you are present in waking. Dream is not secondary. Dream is not a tentative. Dream is not very small. Dream is not very insignificant experience compared to waking. Dream is also as important as waking. Dream and deep sleep, these two experiences are as important as waking. They form essential part of you. You cannot ignore them, you can't make them secondary, or you can't call them insignificant. Or you can't treat them as appendixes. Appendix are a tentative for a insignificant. Without dream I can live, without deep sleep I can live. You can't live. As waking is so important for you, so important are the dream experience and deep sleep experience as a part of you. Not only they are equally important, in fact they are more important than waking. More important. Dream experience, deep sleep experience are more important than waking because they reveal you. They reveal a real nature of you much better way. They give you a better perspective to be able to understand you much better way than the waking. Waking restricts a lot about you, whereas dream releases you from those restrictions. Dream releases you from those restrictions and presents you, gives a proper perspective where you can understand yourself in a much better way, much freer, more comfortable, happier, and a better person. Okay, that's why dream and deep sleep are more important. Vedanta, when people listen, they say, Abba, what kind of Vedanta is it? Leaving this, it makes waking so secondary and calls dream and deep sleep so important. Abba, what is this all? So important is waking, everything, all our life is in waking alone. Leaving out the waking or making it secondary, you keep on talking dream, deep sleep, so illusory experiences both are. In deep sleep there is nothing, dream is illusion. What is there to think about it? Dream is an illusion, deep is nothing. Deep sleep is nothing. So only the secondary experiences you take and build up a theory. And what is so concrete, so important, this concrete waking world you ignore? This is what they think. First they have to be convinced that dream and deep sleep are equally important. Not only equally, in fact they are more important than waking. Because first thing is you exist equally in dream and deep sleep. Your existence is incomplete without dream and deep sleep. If you take waking alone, you are only taking one aspect of your life. A small part of your life you are considering, ignoring other parts of your life, which is equally your life. Dream and deep sleep are equally your life, but you are ignoring them or neglecting them and taking one part of your life as the real life. In fact, to balance this prejudice of taking waking alone is all your life. This is a prejudice. To counteract this prejudice, to balance your view, you have to consider dream and deep sleep also equal to waking. That means, who are you who exist in all the three? Who are you who exist in all the three? Not the one who is specific to a given state. You have one special aspect in you which is found only in waking state, but that special you is dropped when you go to dream. A certain special aspect of you is present in waking state, and when you go to dream, this special nature of you, special part of you is dropped off. In dream also, when you leave, some more is dropped off. You remain all alone. What remains? You. What remains of you, that alone is you. Other things are only alien things put upon yourself. Alien things adopted, identified wrongly as you. They are alien things. By taking the alien things, you are only adulterating yourself. You are adulterating yourself. Anything, this is the world of civilization of adulteration. Compared to the earlier generation, earlier years, decades, now you see everything is adulterated. Do you see any single thing which is pure? Neither gold is pure, nor silver is pure, nothing is, even the cotton is pure. Neither, in those days we were using only cotton cloth. We have never heard nylon, terylene. When somebody brought one boy, we would be surprised. What is this? We have never heard such a thing. They say it's a nylon and terylene. What is it? We have never uttered the name. We have never heard the name. Then that started. Earlier that everybody knew only cotton. So even no metal is purer now. And they say only alloys alone are stronger enough. Therefore, everything is alloys. Ultimately, our food is alloyed, and our body is alloy, and ultimately our jiva is only an alloy. Atma, anatma, alloy is a jiva, isn't it? Atma, anatma, adulteration is called jiva. The whole samsara is only adulteration of anatma with atma. So I think modern civilization likes this jivahood alone, because what a joy that you mix up anatma with atma, and then you have all this life. Anyway, so to discover oneself, dream is a good experience because it connects you. It's a junction in the sense it is something more than waking. This much it says. It is something more than waking. It shows a part of waking, and it shows something more than waking. That's what it means. Or in other words, dream is like a intermediate between waking and deep sleep. Upanishad has not stated, this is my imagination. Upanishad has not stated. It is in between waking and deep sleep. In deep sleep, common man standpoint, let us take it. In waking, there is all world, all experience, all world. In deep sleep, no world and no experience. So you are neither waking, which has got only waking world, nor you are deep sleep where there is no world. Because in deep sleep, there is no consciousness for a waking standpoint, okay? Look at waker's standpoint. In deep sleep, there is nothing, no consciousness at all. So dream helps you to, dream is in between. Dream shows the waking world as a mithya, and that deep sleep, in deep sleep, world is not there true, but consciousness is also not there. In deep sleep, world is not there, but consciousness is also not there. In waking state, world is more there, consciousness is become dim. Therefore, dream is in between. Consciousness is brighter, world is dimmer. World is less. Because world is only imaginary world, there is no real world. That means world has become secondary. World has become only kalpita, imagined and secondary, superficial. Consciousness is primary. Consciousness is primary, world is secondary in dream. Whereas in waking state, world is primary, consciousness is secondary. Whereas this is not there in the Upanishad, I already told you, I am just in my imagination. Anyway, it's a prakriya, it helps you to understand. So whereas in deep sleep, neither world nor consciousness. By watching deep sleep, you don't understand anything. Because neither world nor consciousness. Therefore, by taking a junction which is dream, you understand. It helps you to understand deep sleep, it helps you to understand waking. About waking, what does it teach? Consciousness is primary, unlike waking. Consciousness is primary, and the world is secondary. Therefore, it teaches that don't take the world so seriously, world is secondary. Therefore, dream teaches. Consciousness is primary, therefore, it corrects the deep sleep and it corrects the waking. So, it is in between. Or in other words, even if you take, in deep sleep, there is no consciousness, no world, I told so far. Okay, let us say, I change it now. In deep sleep, there is consciousness but no world. So, there is only all consciousness, no world. That also doesn't help you to understand about the world. So dream contains the consciousness like deep sleep and helps you to understand how world is false. Therefore, it has got something to explain about waking, something to explain about deep sleep. So it can help you to understand both. Anyway, these are all various prakriyas, as I told you, various methods of teaching. You can adopt a few more methods. If you have basically understood Vedanta, you can have little more. Like based upon Mandukya Upanishad, Gaudapada has developed his own prakriya. So based upon Bruhadaranyaka, we can add our own prakriyas. But anyway, we will not go much. I am very fertile in imagination. I won't do much. We may do some other time. But now it is this much is enough. Dream is a intermediate junction, because it can help. First, it shows you that you are beyond waking. And so here in that Upanishad, according to Shankaracharya's explanation, it gives you an idea of the other world also. But the world, we leave it. Coming to the Atma, it helps you to understand that you are consciousness. Next step is you are going to be pure consciousness. In deep sleep, you are going to be pure consciousness. Here, regarding the world, it has removed the world, dismissed the world, and made the world superficial, secondary. Now, dream is an intermediate step, because in the next step, even this much of world is dismissed, only pure consciousness is retained. Therefore, dream represents the deep sleeps, pure consciousness, and also waking's world. Waking world is important. In deep sleep, only consciousness. Dream represents both world as well as consciousness. But it teaches about both. It teaches that consciousness is important. Therefore, it is teaching. It is similar to deep sleep. It is similar to deep sleep because consciousness is more important. It is similar to waking because it is carrying a little bit of world, not important world, but a little bit of world. And it tells that world is only an imaginary and secondary. Therefore, dream is only in between waking and deep sleep. Okay, whatever way, now we will proceed with it. So, Atrayam Purusha Swayam Jyotihi. So, here he is a Swayam Jyoti. Because that we have discussed already, dream consciousness is clearly visible. Because the consciousness is, you are conscious. Where very dream shows you are conscious of some world, as yesterday I told you, just to test your torchlight, you turn it on. Once you turn it on, you use some object to illuminate. But object is secondary, whether torchlight is illumining or not. Torchlight is illumining or not, in order to test it, you focus it on some object. But object is not important. Object is not contributing to the light of the torch. Object is not contributing. Neither the object is part of the light, nor helping the light to glow. It is not helping the light to illumine. Does the external object help the light to illumine? The illumination belongs to the light. Illumination is the nature of light. The external object is not helping. So, for us to understand, it is only a testing ground. That is there a light or not? Similarly, light is independent, external is only just for testing. Similarly, the world, imaginary world, is only a secondary. Light is primary. So it is very easy to understand that the consciousness, you are the consciousness, world is secondary. In the consciousness, world is appearing. In the waking, it looks that world is giving me consciousness. See, by seeing an object, I become conscious. You ask the common man, how are you awake? Are you awake? Yes, I am awake. How? Because, see, I am seeing this world, I am seeing this pen, I am seeing this cloth. So, by showing the object, he says he is awake. His awakened state depends upon the external world. See the common man's thinking. You are awake because you are seeing the world. That means, what is awakenedness? What is your awakenedness? World is awakenedness, because world is part of me. So the world becomes important to be awake in the waking, whereas in dream, consciousness is primary, world is only part of, because world is within my consciousness. Within my consciousness, because there is no independent world. World is my own projection. I project myself and see, as I gave you an example of a mirror reflection. Reflection in a mirror, I see myself, therefore myself is important, the second is secondary. The reflection is secondary because there is no second person. Similarly here, external world is secondary. External world doesn't exist. This is explained more detail in the next mantra. This also we have touched yesterday and we will discuss now. Na tatra rathaha ratha yogaha. There are no chariots. There are no chariots. There are no horses. And there are no roads. But you seem to be going by a chariot, drawn by horses, and going on the road. Okay? Road, horses, and chariot. All the three appear there without being there. They appear there. You experience them without being there. That means what does it mean? You experience them. See, you experience something. Person is not there. Sometimes it happened recently, 2 days ago. I was reading myself, and that boy, that brahmachari comes, and he gave me some milk, and they went and again came back. Swamiji, ask. So I said, what do you want? He said, you called me something. No, I have not called you. He says, oh, I heard as if you have called me. Now tell me, he heard that I have called him. Where is that calling? He heard some noise that as if I have called him. It is not from me. I say, no, I have not called you. I am only reading. I have not paid attention to you. I am only reading. So you hear as if the other person is calling you. Huh? Where do you hear that? It is within you. It is within you. Your mind is imagining it. That means it is you. You are imagining means it is yourself alone. Similarly, there is no world, no ratha. No ratha yoga, no panthanaha, no path. Pantha is path. Pantha is a Sanskrit word. Patha is also there. Patha is the basic word. Pantha is a prathama vibhakti, first case. Patha. So patha, in calling English, they call path. I don't know whether how the similarity has come. Path. So there are no paths. There is no patha. And there is no ratha, and there is no ratha yoga. Neither there is a chariot, nor the horses, nor. But he finds them. But he finds them. What does it mean? They are yourself. They are yourself. There is no person, but you see a person in the mirror. That means it is yourself. Na tatra anandaha muda pramudo bhavanti. This is an external. The horses, chariot, and the roads are external. Without being there, they appear. But what about internal feelings? Internal feelings are also not there. Like the pleasure, joy, what you call rejoicing, all that are not there. But you experience them. Pain without being there, you experience the pain. Pleasure without being there, you experience them. Joy without being there, there is no real joy, like in waking. But you experience them. So, both the subjective world, objective world, both are your own making. Next, tatra veshantaha. Then go to the larger world. There are no lakes. Veshantaha means puddle. Puddle, you know, the small puddle. Natatra veshanta. Pushkarinyaha. Pushkarinyaha. Small water body is called a puddle. And Pushkarinyaha. No lakes, no rivers. These are all the broader world he is talking. Yet you see the rivers in the dream. You see the rivers, you see the lakes, you see so many things. Ata veshantan pushkarani sravanti srujate. How does he do? So your mind alone projects them. There is no chance for the dream objects to exist. For the dream objects, from the waking standpoint, he is looking at them. In Mandukya Bhashya, Shankaracharya says, you saw in dream that you went to Himalayas and came back. And you saw the elephant or Himalayan mountain. Now after waking, do you say they were real? Your Himalayan mountain and the people you saw there and all that, were they real? He says it is not. How? Because such a distance going to Himalayas, it will take 2 days, 3 days. But within such a short time when you are dreaming, where is the time to go to such a distance and see the Himalaya? Therefore, the Himalayas which you saw is not real. Because there is no sufficient time to go to Himalayas and come back. And for the Himalaya is such a big mountain, do you have a sufficient place in your chest for such a big mountain? If you see an elephant, do you think the elephant can exist in your heart? Is there such a big space enough for the elephant to exist? Therefore, elephant was not there. Himalayan mountains were not there. You may say these people also, you accompanied you when you go to Kumbh Mela, these people accompanied you in your dream, you went there. You did not go to Kumbh Mela, therefore in dream you went to Kumbh Mela along with others people. So after waking up, did you go really? Was there a Kumbh Mela? You ask the people who accompanied you, didn't we go last night to Kumbh Mela and come back? Do you remember it? No, I have never come with you. That fellow says, no, I have never come with you. I have never come with you. So therefore, how can you say, oh, but I saw you, you are with me. Does he conquer that, yes, I have come with you? That means he has not really come. He has not really come, nor you have gone really, nor such a big thing like a mountain can exist in you. Then what do you explain that? It is purely your thought, your imagination. Things really without being there, because nahi karakamantarena, nobody can, sahi karta. Next is, he is a karta, he says. Atma is the karta. Sahi karta, one word, 2 words, sahi karta, 3 words. Now question comes, how do you say Atma is the karta? In waking, are you the karta of this house? The existing house you see, you are not a maker of this house. Compare with the waking world, you see the existing world, you are not a maker of the world. But whereas in dream you are the maker of the world. Karta means you are the maker. You are maker of the world. Now question comes, how is he maker of the world? In dream, the dream consciousness, dream sakshi, how is he maker of the world? Did he make really? He says, tad vasanashrita chitta vrittudbhava nimitta karma hetutvena ityavochama tasya kartrutvam natu sakshadeva tatra kriya sambhavati. There is no real action. When you go to dream, did you see that you started producing dream objects, dream things? You are building a house, and then, because why are you building? Because I have to dream now, therefore first I build and then later I dream. I have to create people and then dream, then play with them. Nothing is created there, you just start seeing them, that's all. Therefore, you have not really created anything there. Natu tasya kartrutvam. So, Shastra, Upanishad says, or Yajnavalkya says, Atma is the karta there, only in what sense? Is only due to his, this again is again a waking standpoint alone. Waking karmas he carries and then projects there. This is what he says. According to waking karma, you project. Because why you have a particular object and not other objects in dream? You have a certain people, certain objects, not other objects, because of karma. Why not have all objects, all people? You can't have. Only certain people, certain objects, certain events alone. Why these events alone? Why not the other events according to your karma? According to this again is a waking explanation. According to certain karma, you have a certain objects, certain people and certain events. Okay. So, tasya kartrutvam. Since Jiva, when he was in waking, he performed some karma. According to those karmas, he projects them. Therefore, you call him a maker. In fact, he is not really a maker. Because Since Upanishad is calling him maker, you have to explain why Upanishad is calling maker. But in what sense he is really maker? Two things we have to explain. Upanishad calls Atma to be the maker of the waking dream world. Is he really the maker? Is making possible there? Making is not possible, because we have seen no dreamer is making the world. He experienced but not made the world. He only illumined the world, he saw the world, but he has not created the world. In reflection, in the mirror reflection, did you paint your face there? Did you make your face? Or take a plaster of Paris and make your face and put colors with all those things? You have not made it, but you saw. Without making, how did you saw? How did you see? Without making it. Therefore, he only sees. The seeing himself is making. That's all. There is no real making. But he is using the word karta. Upanishad says he is a karta, he is a maker of it. Now you have to explain the maker. In a way, in a sense he is maker, but in a sense he is not. That's why Swamiji himself told, Mandukya is straight. Bruhadaranyaka Chandogya takes the Vyavaharic standpoints and Paramarthika. These two standpoints keeps on mixing. Vyavaharic standpoint is a real maker, but in fact he is not the maker. You have to explain in what sense he is a maker and in what sense he is not. As a Sakshi, he is not a maker. But Upanishad says he is a karta. Karta means, okay, in a sense he is a karta because his own previous karma, according to the karma he is imagining here. According to his past karmas he is imagining. Therefore, since he performed his past karmas, in a sense he is a karta. He is a maker, he is an agent of action, he is a creator. But in another sense he is not a maker, he is only seeing them. Why he is not a maker? Because they don't exist. When they don't exist, where is any question of making? Do you need to make your reflection in the mirror? The reflection doesn't exist. Where is the need to make it? If the thing is there, if the thing really is present, then you have to make it. Then some maker is required. A maker is required if the thing were really present. If the thing itself is not present, where is the maker? Maker is not required. Therefore, he says, in what sense the maker? Nahi karakamantarena kriya sambhavati. Making is a kriya, is an action. For the action, you need the instruments. But what are the instruments? Hands and legs and material. You need material, hands and legs and all that. But you don't have any of them. To see the dream objects, you don't have any of these things. Neither hands and, because hands and legs you left in the waking only. The body you left in the waking. When you left the body in the waking, without the body, without hands and legs, how did you make the dream objects? Did you really make the ratha? Chariot? Not possible. Therefore, nahi karakamantarena kriya sambhavati. Nahi tatra hastapadadini kriya karakani sambhavanti. Hastapada, hands and legs you don't have. Yatra tu jagarite tani vidyante tatra atma jyotir avabhasitaihi karyakaranaihi rathadi vasanashrayanta karanavrityad bhavanimittang karma nirvartyate tenochyate sahi karta. In waking, when you had your hands and legs, there you made your ratha, there you made things, and that due to that karma means a similarity. You see, similarity, that's enough. Don't talk of karma. Because this is, people come with karma kanda. That's a ritual portion. They keep on taking that worldly standpoints. They mix up worldly standpoints. And again talk of the other standpoint also. Mixing up two standpoints simultaneously, side parallelly they go. So we have to explain, because the mantra is a mantra. We have to explain this worldly standpoint and then reject it and go to the higher level. Two standpoints side by side we have to explain. He says, so you are a karta if you take literally. In what sense you are a karta? Because in waking you are doing, and that karma phalam, punya papa, comes here and then project the worldly objects. In another level, as a sakshi, you are not a karta. You are karta means you are only sakshi. You are a basis, like the rope is a basis of the snake, therefore you say rope is a maker of snake. Rope is a maker of snake in what sense? Rope is only forming a basis for it. Rope is only a basis, therefore you say rope is a maker of a snake. Similarly, Sakshi is a maker of the world. Maker means he is the truth of the world. He is a maker of the world means he is the truth of the world. Okay, I just briefly told, but here he is discussing something more, Shankaracharya. Tatrapi na paramartha, yes, Jabban told. In reality, he is not a karta. Tatrapi paramarthatah swatah kartrutvam chaitanya doshito avabhasakatva vyatirekena. In reality, the Sakshi's makership, Sakshi made how? By being illumination alone is making. His illumination alone is making, because there are no real objects, no real making is not required. No real making is required. There are no real objects, no real making is required. They are only appearance. For appearance, illumination is enough. Therefore, in reality, Atma is the maker means Atma is the witness. Yatirekena yat chaitanyatma jyotishantakarana dvarena avabhasayati. Swapnam, dreaming. In English, dream is a verb. You dream. So it is difficult to explain in English, but in all Indian languages, Swapnam pashyati. You see the dream. Sanskrit says, you see the dream. Pashyati. In Hindi, Swapna dekhta hai. Sapna dekhta hai. Dekhna is seeing alone. In Kannada, kanasu nodtane. Kanasu kanuttane ashte. Seeing. In Telugu also, kala kantadu. That means yalla seeing alone. In dream is only talked about as a seeing only. You see the dream. You don't make the dream. You only see the dream. In Sanskrit, you see the dream. You don't make the dream. Therefore, it is only seeing is making. That's all. In short, sahi karta. That means he sees the dream. Seeing is making. Therefore, yat chaitanyatma jyotishantakarana dvarena avabhasayati karyakaranani tad avabhasitani karmasu vyapriyante karyakaranani tatra kartrutvam upacharyate atmanaha. It is only secondarily, figuratively he called as if he is a maker. As if he is a maker, because he himself is responsible for everything. Seeing is enough for appearance. He sees them, that is enough. Seeing is enough for the things to appear. Therefore, seeing includes making also. Making, seeing alone is making. There is no separate making as an event, making as an action. Making as a deed is not there. It is simply seeing. Okay, Yaduktam, that's over. Next mantra. So, in support of this, that Atma is the witness of them, Atma is the Swayam Prakasha, self-shining, and he is the maker of them. Maker of them means the seer of them. He is a self-shining and he is a maker of them. In support of this idea, few mantras he is quoting. Mantra quoting means probably 1, 2, 3 mantras he is quoting. Yeah, 3 mantras. In Upanishads, in Taittariya, in Bruhadaranyaka, in Chandogya, in many other places, in Mundaka, in many other places, while explaining an idea, atraite shloka bhavanti, illi nodi, tadete shloka bhavanti, here he says. So in this sense, in support of this idea, these are the shlokas found, these are the mantras found. So people say, commentators, akyanakaras say, these are the quoted from the mantra portion of the Veda, Samhita portion of the Rigveda, mostly from Rigveda only. These might be Rigvedic mantras. So Rigveda also had many portions, many recensions, we have lost many of them. So these mantras are not found in the prevalent Rigveda, these mantras are not found. In some places you find, but here these mantras are not found in the prevalent Rigveda, so some Rigvedic portions are lost. Therefore, he is quoting from the Samhita portion of the Veda, these mantras. These mantras are giving explanation how Atma is only a witness of the dream. That's all. 3 mantras. Tadete shloka bhavanti swapnena shariram abhiprahatya. By dreaming, what does it? By dreaming means by going into dream. By seeing a dream, what does happen? He shariram abhiprahatya. He deadens the body. Deaden, you know the word? I don't know, such an expression is there. You deaden. Deaden means make it dead. You deaden the body. Shariram abhiprahatya. Deaden the body means you take away its consciousness, make the body dead. So you deaden the body. Shariram abhiprahatya. Asuptaha, and himself doesn't sleep. He withdraws the consciousness from the body. And Shukramadaya, he withdraws the consciousness from the sense organs. Withdraws means originally it belongs to him. Originally it belongs to the Sakshi. Therefore, Sakshi who has lent his consciousness to the body, lent his consciousness to the sense organs, now he withdraws, you give back. You can't retain it permanently, you have to give back. So he takes back his consciousness from the body, then leaving the body dead. He withdraws his consciousness from the sense organs are no more. How? You see the sleeping person, does he feel the floor, or does he feel his soft bed? He doesn't feel. Or does he feel the climate, hot climate? The hot climate now, this is unusually hot in Bangalore now. This is not normal climate. We are also feeling very hot now. I think at least 3 degrees, 4 degrees, it should have been less. This time it is unusually high. I don't know why it is high. I think people are angry in India. Everybody is angry, therefore heat has increased. Anyway, so it has increased. So you can't feel them. Why? Because your consciousness from the sense organs, this charma is capable of feeling the touch, heat and cold. During sleep, why does it not feel? During the sleep, why does it not feel the heat and cold? Because one who really feels has gone to dream. Has gone to dream for Kumbh Mela. He has gone there. So therefore here is nobody to see. So the consciousness is withdrawn from the body, withdrawn from the sense organs. So body is dead, sense organs don't exist. Therefore this mantra says that Madaya, but himself doesn't sleep. He makes the body to sleep, but he doesn't sleep. He puts the body to sleep, but he doesn't sleep. Okay. By withdrawing his consciousness, deadens the body, puts him to sleep, puts the sense organs to sleep, but himself is awake. Therefore, suptan, asupta suptan abhichakashiti. He is asuptaha. He doesn't sleep himself, means he is always conscious. Sleeping means losing consciousness. Asuptaha, he doesn't lose his consciousness. Hiranmayaha purushaha eka hamsaha, because his very nature is Hiranmaya. Hiranmaya is a symbolic language. Hiranmaya literally means gold. Hiranmaya means made of gold. But Hiranmaya here means consciousness. Hiranmayo eka hamsaha. Eka hamsaha means all alone, without any accompaniment. In dream he shines all alone, he doesn't have the second object like in waking. Eka hamsaha, Hiranmayaha. He illumines everything. That means he alone, consciousness is present, he makes his own world, and then he makes his own world, there is no outside world, therefore he alone is, you can say. In spite of the dream world, he alone is, because the world is not apart from him. Like in waking, world is not from the external world, it is himself. It is like seeing my own hand, seeing my own face. Face is myself, seer is myself, I am seeing myself. That means I am alone. Therefore, asupta suptan abhichakashiti shukramadaya punareti sthanam hiranmaya purusha eka hamsaha. Again, his own consciousness. He again comes to waking. Comes to waking means what? Again he revives the body. With his consciousness, revives the body, revives the sense organs. First he withdraws his consciousness and puts them to sleep. And later he gives it is something like the person who is an old man sitting is unable to get up, and you have to catch his hand and then raise him. You help him to rise. Similarly, he wakes up the body by waking up means what? When he gives his consciousness, it is called waking up. That means it is the same consciousness is functioning through the body and sense organs. But the consciousness exists without body and sense organs. Body, sense organs, independent of consciousness, they are dead. But when the consciousness comes back, they come to life. The body comes to life, sense organs come to life only with the help of consciousness. But consciousness himself is all the time present, both in waking, both wakeful consciousness and dream consciousness. Consciousness is all the time present. This is what the mantra says. So he comes back to dream. That means he himself comes to waking, he himself goes to dream, he himself comes means what? He makes the dream as a dream because of he alone. He makes the waking as a waking because of he. He alone makes the waking as a waking. He alone makes the dream as a dream. That means he alone is. It is the witnessing consciousness that makes the dream. It is the witnessing consciousness that makes the waking. He alone is present. This is the quoted mantra says. Next, time is up already. We will finish the mantra, there is nothing much. So that once we finish this mantra, next mantra we can go to the 14th mantra we can go. Pranena rakshan navarankula ayam. So he withdraws the consciousness but doesn't kill the body completely. He doesn't kill the body completely because people always talk about the body. You mean he withdraws the consciousness and kills the body? No, body is not dead. They ask the question. But body, Swamiji, I have a doubt. Body is not dead. They again ask. This fellow doesn't look at from the standpoint of Sakshi, he looks from the body. Therefore, to such people, this answer is given. These are all childish answers for the childish questions. Childish questions, childish answers. Means the waker standpoint. Some people live only in the waking state. They never want to come out of waking state. That is a problem. Because the babies, they live like it. So he says, Pranena rakshan navaram kulayam. This is a avaram, low type of the body. Kulayam means a nest. Nest of the bird. Bird makes a nest and lives in it. It's a nest. So it is a kulayam is a nest. Rakshan, this avaram kulayam. Bird's nest. Nest word may be there in your Italian also. So, avaram kulayam. Avaram is a low type. Because body is low because it's a dirty. It is a low type of the body. Because all rakta, mamsa, everything is there. So, it is a avaram kulayam. It is a low type of the body, low type of nest he leaves. Bahish kulayat, comes out of the nest. He leaves the nest. Amrutas charitva. But he himself doesn't die, the nest dies. Nest becomes lifeless. But Amrutaha, he himself is eternal, he lives. So he goes to the Charitva. Sa iyate amruto yatra kamaha. There he goes there, where he likes, whatever he likes, he projects there, and again comes back. Hiranmayo purusha ekahamsaha. Like Akasha. In fact, Atma goes from waking he withdraws, leaving of the world, leaving the body, leaving the sense organs, he withdraws the consciousness and goes to the dream, and again comes back and again rejuvenates, revives the body and sense organs. This again is a childish explanation. Consciousness doesn't travel. If consciousness traveling means you think that it is going and coming. Consciousness is not going and coming. Consciousness is stationary. It is the world appears and disappears. Therefore, Acharya Shankara gives Tasta iva Akasha iva. Just as Akasha remains stationary. See, when you build the room, Akasha is not brought in. Space is not brought in. Space remains. You build the walls and demolish the walls. Again build walls, again demolish. Walls come and walls go. Space remains like before. Similarly, the consciousness remains. It is stationary. It is stable. It is continuous and changeless. It is the world that appears and goes away. World appears and goes away. Worlds come and go. Consciousness remains. Consciousness doesn't move. It is immobile. Mobile is only world. But we are talking as if consciousness goes and comes. So don't take literally. That's what Bhashyakara Shankaracharya says. Don't take literally that consciousness is going, coming. Consciousness remains stationary. It is the world appears and disappears. Next mantra. Swapnanta vuccha vachamiya mano rupani deva kurute bahuni. In the swapna, he leaves the body. 2 mantras are over. Breath he leaves. Second mantra says he leaves the breath, so that body won't be totally doesn't die, so that he can come and use it again. If it is totally dead, when you come back, you have to throw away. You can't use it. There are certain things you leave them and go and come back. After you come back, it can be still used. But certain things can't be used. We have to throw away. But the body is such a thing, it can be used again. Therefore, he retains the prana in it, so that he can come back and use it. That is waking explanation. Okay. The next mantra, regarding the dream now he talks. In dream he creates high and low objects, all good and bad. Good and bad and high and low, all kinds of things, all kinds of events in dream. And then also he moves with his woman. See, Uteva Stri Visaha Modamanaha. He goes for picnic along with his friends, along with woman. He enjoys, he laughs, jokes, and then dances and comes back. Bhaya, and Bhayani also. Sometimes he is afraid also. He experiences some experiences of fear also. Some fear, some laughing, some enjoying, and comes back. Comes back to waking. Okay. All this only shows all this is himself. All this is himself, that's the idea. Okay. Then one more point. He says, next mantra, we are supposed to tell this mantra tomorrow, but I'll just briefly touch it. Aramamasya pashyanti natam pashyanti kaschana. In deep sleep, people see his action. When we are asked you to watch the dream, consider the dream, examine the dream, people see what all he projects there in the dream, how he dances, how he goes to the picnic by car, and then he carries his friends and carries his cell phones and dances and everything. Some people carry, nowadays the cell phone is enough. In those they would carry microphone and the amplifier and everything, so that they can dance according to the music. So the music, dance, people see only aramamatra pashyanti, akridanam. People only see what all he dances in the dream, experiences good and bad, everything. But people fail to see the very consciousness in whom everything he sees the dream world. People, when you ask the people to come on examine you, watch your dream, they say, oh dream, there are so many things, how nice we had a dream, oh we had so many experiences and good. And what happened later? Later we left everything and came back. Is that all? Yes, that is the only thing. So when you ask the person, what is about dream? He sees only what all he did in the dream. But the consciousness which is the basis, that he misses. That he is reminding. He says, what an unfortunate gramam nagaram striyam anna. See there he says, the picnic spot, the beach, the seashore you went, he remembers. In dream. In dream you saw the sea, you saw the park, you saw the dances, you saw your friends. But in and through all of them, you have been witnessing consciousness. Do you remember that? That nobody pays attention to. On this one, Shankaracharya says one good point. Kashtambho vartate. Alas, what a difficulty it is. Atyanta viviktam drishtigocharam. In dreams, sakshi is most important. In the whole dream state, what is important is the consciousness. World doesn't exist there, it is only your own imagination. So, but imaginary thing, he takes it so real, like waking, oh, we had such a dream, we had such a dream. What he dreamed, Those objects alone he pays attention to, but one who dreamt, the maker of the dream, the Sakshi, ignores. Alas, what an unfortune, what a misfortune. The person misses while examining the dream, while watching the dream, he misses himself as a consciousness. Drishtigocharapanamapi. How clearly consciousness is present in dream. But people again and again look at dream and think of only his dances but forget the consciousness. But in dream, what is important? Consciousness is the only important. Other things don't exist at all. What don't exist, he gives importance, but what exists, only consciousness, he ignores. What a misfortune. See, a kashtambo vartate, this is Shankaracharya's own words. Upanishad doesn't say. Upanishad only says these things. And they aramamatra pashyanti natam pashyanti kaschana. People see all his dream objects, dream world, but nobody sees the seer of the dream. Only Upanishad mantra says only this much. People, while watching the dream, they see all the objects of the dream, but the very witness of the dream, people miss it. This much Ilan say. Natam pashyanti kaschana. Shankaracharya adds one more point. What a misfortune. People, how clearly consciousness is present when you examine the dream state, instantly it strikes you. As you pay attention to dream, what strikes you and the first moment is the consciousness. Because dream world doesn't exist. What to talk of the world? World doesn't exist at all. It is myself. I am imagining myself. I am seeing myself only. Oh, that means I am important. I exist so clearly. Without the external world, I exist. That my existence is so clear, so conspicuous, but you miss it. So obvious, and you miss it. Therefore, vartate atyanta viviktam drishtigocharapanam. It is so clear, so obvious, yet you miss it. Aho bhagyahinata lokasya. How unfortunate people are. When they look at the dream, they miss the consciousness and pay attention to the false world which doesn't exist. Aho bhagyahinata lokasya. Misfortune, bhagyahina. Bhagya is fortune, bhagyahinata, misfortune. Yet shakya darshanamapi atma tattvam. That the Atma can be easily seen, obviously seen in the dream state. But even if the dream is shown to him, he misses the Atma. Iti lokam prati anukroshan darshayati shrutihi. Acharya Shankaracharya says he is expressing the pity, sympathy, expressing the pity. He is pitying the world. Upanishad is pitying the world. How when we point out the dream, he misses the very witness and says the same thing. Atyanta vivikta swayam jyotir atma. Their Atma is swayam jyoti. Unless you explain even Upanishads, nobody understands. You have to point out. Nobody understands. It only shows that some guru, some shastra has to point out. Then you say, oh yes, in dream there is only consciousness. World doesn't exist, it is only imagination. Imaginary means myself, means I alone am present. That is the main thing. So this, after explaining, you understand, oh yes, dream means consciousness. Otherwise nobody would see. Therefore, Atma bhavati tam nayatam bodhayedityahu. One part of this mantra is over. Second point is Atma. One more thing common man knows. In dream or in sleep or dream, both are same. From the waker's standpoint, both are sleep only. Isn't it? Dream is also sleep, deep sleep is also sleep. Both are sleep only from the waker's standpoint. When a person sleeps, what happens? He withdraws his consciousness from the body, from the sense organs, and remains only consciousness. When he wakes up, he brings back the consciousness again. Like you come back and switch on the light and put your chair and scooter and everything, wherever you have to put, you put them. Isn't it? Similarly, the same consciousness, a part of consciousness you put in your eyes, a part of them you put in ears, part of them you put on over the skin, all over the skin, like a ointment you smear all over the body, because the consciousness apply. Then the sense of touch becomes awake. It becomes awake. Then the tongue and this thing, all five sense organs wake up when you put your consciousness. In sleep, what happens? You withdraw all this consciousness from the sense organs. Therefore, Common people say, I don't know whether in Europe you say, in India they say, probably said everywhere it is there. Most of the proverbs are everywhere all over the world same. So at least in ancient day, tam nayatam bodhayetityaho. If a person is sleeping, people generally say, don't wake him up. Don't wake up the person suddenly. Suddenly with a jolt, don't wake up the person. When a person is sleeping, with a jolt, don't wake him up, gradually wake him up. Because durbishajjam hasmai bhavati yameshana pratipadyate. If suddenly as a jolt, that's why sleeping person, people throw water and do all those things. Don't do that. It's a very, very dangerous thing, they say. Because a person who has withdrawn his consciousness and remains to himself, if suddenly you wake him up, what happens? He has to bring consciousness to the body and sense organs. In bringing it, in his confusion, the consciousness required for the ear, he may bring it to eyes. Consciousness required to the eyes, he may bring it to ears. In that disturbance, in that haste, what happens? You may lose your eyes and ears. You may lose your ears. If suddenly you disturb a person, you wake up a person, suddenly by jolt, then you see, he gets confused. He doesn't know what happened. He says like that. Do you see that? He says, because his sense organs don't function. Then the consciousness has to come. So in while coming, if it is misplaced, one part of the body will be damaged, and the next time thereafter your sense organs don't work. That means your brain might be damaged. Don't disturb. He says, durbishajjam, it cannot be irreparable. That sense organ becomes irreparable. Durbishajjam, it is irreparable. Hasmai bhavati yameshana pratipadyate. If the consciousness doesn't come back exactly to the same sense organ, and he wakes up, one sense organ will be lost. Therefore, don't disturb a person suddenly like a jolt. Don't wake him up that way. Gradually you have to wake him up. Therefore, calling through mouth alone is better. Call him, he comes out. But physically touching and pouring water and doing all those things, these modern pranks they do, these are all most villainous fellows. These modern pranks in the YouTube you see them, they are all villains only, not human beings. They are only killing people in the name of pranks. Durbishajjam hasmai bhavati yameshana pratipadyate atho kalvahur jagarita desha evasya esha iti yani heva jagrat pashyati tani supta ityatrayam purusha swayam jyotir bhavati soham bhagavate sahasram. One more point is there. I think time is up already, 20 minutes. Oh, we'll see tomorrow. Atho kalvahu jagarita desha iti. 2 points are over. One is, people don't see people miss the consciousness, but pay attention to the world. That's one point. Second point is, the consciousness, when it is withdrawn, don't wake him up with a jolt, because he will be losing. This also indicates that consciousness is independent of the body and sense organs. Consciousness is independent of this common man's proverb, common man's thought also proves a point that your consciousness is independent of the body. Second point is over. Then the third point is, we'll discuss tomorrow. Okay? They say that dream is not there at all. You say consciousness is withdrawn, independent of the waking. All that is nonsense. Dream takes place within waking only. They ask. He replies, Upanishad replies, Yajnavalkya replies, no, it is not true. Consciousness is independent of waking. It is not the waking world alone. How? That we shall see tomorrow. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om Tat Sat.